Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at Snarl Granbull in the Great League Remix Cup. But today we're going to run the fast move of Snarl. If you have been a member, like a viewer of my channel for quite a long time, you might know already that Granbull with Snarl is kinda one of my favorite Pokemon to use in the Go Battle League. But I haven't really used it like in the last few seasons. Main reason for this one is that a Steel type Pokemon kinda disappeared a little bit more, especially this season, but also just kinda the Exile Pokemon took a little bit over and it was a little bit tricky for Granbull to really shine. Now we're going to have a meta where most of the good Poison type Pokemon like the Clodsire, like the Toxapex have been banned and Steel types kinda came back to life as well, which makes Granbull with Snarl a very interesting Pokemon to be used. Here we're gonna use it as our shield, which is also great to be fair, but together with the Granbull of course is in there as well, but the Clefable of course here, as well as the Golurk, we're going to have an interesting team. Clefable, cool Pokemon, I would change it. I would change Clefable for a different fairy type with Charm. You can use something maybe like a Alolan Ninetales. I feel like that would work a little bit better. I feel like there were a lot of scenarios where I would have liked to have a little bit more fast move pressure compared to Fairy Wind, but otherwise Clefable was definitely still a solid Pokemon that did a lot of things, but maybe even Whimsicott would be better because his team can struggle a little bit against water type Pokemon. And so we're going to see here one of the Pokemon that we're also going to struggle against, which is going to be the Walrein. Walrein can be quite tricky for this team. Walrein has a lot of potential against this team, especially as we are not going to have it in the correct matchup and we're going to see the Tentacruel hopping in against us, getting completely hard-walled for this matchup. As we will see here as well, we're going to still be able to reach another crunch at least with our Granbull, and I think we're going to put them into a range where we are going to be able to knock them out with just one more fast move from our Golurk, allowing us to knock them out before they can go for a charge move. They're very likely going to go back into their Walrein, and so we're going to swap out straight away into our Clefable to try to counter that one, but now they're going to go into their Umbreon, allowing us to get a ton of energy against them, which can help us out quite a bit. Last Resort is coming through, Walrein is coming through, I can go for the Swift Spam now. Swift Spam is going to do a lot of damage here as well. The opponent lets the move go through, very smart there in general, but as we will see here, we have a ton of energy, we have a Clefable still, and we have a ton of Swifts, and with the Swift as well, the Switch Clock is always going to tick down a little bit, allowing us to eventually swap out into our Golurk, fully farm them down, and now they still have 2 shields on their Umbreon though, and so we're going to try to get rid of those immediately here with our Golurk, going for a Shadow Punch, getting the first shield, and we're gonna stay in for a little bit longer just to get to another Shadow Punch, and if we get the next shield as well, we're going to be able to win the game here guaranteed, but we sadly don't, and so we have to be a little bit careful again here now. Are we gonna go for the bait? Are we gonna go straight for the Moonblast? What are we gonna do here? We're gonna go for the bait here first. Swift is coming through, is going to be able to get the shield from the opponent here, but I'm not too sure on how much energy they actually still have. We have a Swift stored right now. Is it going to be enough with a Swift? I don't think so. This Pokemon is very bulky, and so I have to rely on the Moonblast, and we are going to be able to still get there with a 1 HP in the Dream, allowing Clefable to win us this battle. Next opponent, Weezing in the lead, a great lead for us, but again, we have some issues against Walrein, and I feel like if we had Alolan Ninetales here, we would have had a great time. I think Shadow Alolan Ninetales would have been the key for this team to even function better than it actually already did. Main reason is just this Walrein matchup. I encountered so many Walreins, and yeah, Clefable is cool, but Clefable is just not going to be able to counter this Pokemon consistently at least, and so I really think if we would have had a different Pokemon here with the Alolan Ninetales, especially as we would have also access to a Psyshock, which would help us out again against the little weakness there against like Poison type Pokemon, it could be definitely something that would have helped this team out a bit. But yeah, we're going to be able to go up to 100 energy, go for the Moonblast against the opponent, and gonna be able to get the knockout, and we have now the Weezing again. And again, I said before, I really think that Ninetales will help us quite a bit here. So if you want to copy this team, if you want to have a little bit of fun with this team, I actually do think this team can work out really, really well for you, but then just with the Shadow Alolan Ninetales. Anyway, we're going to be able to go for the Moonblast here, which is going to get them low. We're forced to go into the Granbull because one move from the opponent is going to knock out our Golurk, I think. But Overheat is coming through. Now it depends on if we're going to be able to win the battle with our Golurk here. The opponent still has a shield left. We have 2 Shadow Punches. If we're going to be able to get both of them off, I think we win this battle. First one is coming through, and sadly we are going to have a CMP here. It's going to be just the Body Slam, but sadly it's just going to be enough to knock us out. If we would have got the Shadow Punch through, we definitely would have won the battle. Oh, this battle kind of annoyed me a little bit. But anyway, we're going to see here the Crocodile. That is going to be something that is really going to... You're going to see why this battle annoyed me here a little bit. But we're going to see the Shadow Punch coming through. All fine, getting the shield. We can swap out into our Granbull. Granbull having access to Snarl. We still haven't seen really the full potential yet, but trust me, they're going to be matchups where Granbull is going to be able to bait out those Steel-type Pokemon. But as you can see here, we can still go for a Crunch against the opponent's Jellicent. This is going to be enough to get the KO, but they decide to use a shield instead, and I'm actually all for it, because if they want to swap out now into the Crocodile, what we can do is we can go for 3 fast moves. This allows us to go for that close combat now, and we will be able to get 2 fast moves in from our Golurk here in time to knock them out in time. Or do we? We should have. We somehow lost one turn somewhere, and we lost because of this our Golurk, which would have been great against even the Jellicent still. And that's just annoying, like the inconsistency of this one, like usually you would be able to farm down, but apparently not today. And again, for the people that don't actually know, if you go for your own charge move and then swap out afterwards, you don't take an extra turn for the swap out. If you swap out while you don't have your charge move basically done right now, you always take 1 extra turn for swapping out. I don't know why it was so inconsistent there, I don't know why it didn't work out here. But this might actually lose us a battle, and that is going to be very much annoying. As you're gonna see here, the Moonblast coming through, getting a ton of damage, but we are still forced to swap out of here. The opponent is going to be able to go for a charge move here against us, which is going to be, weirdly enough, the Grass Knot, which is great for us, because now we can go for that Swift, knock out the opponent, still win the battle, but again, would have been even easier if the Crocodile decided to play with us normally. Anyway, Golurk against Golurk, what do we really do in this scenario? Best scenario would be if we could get a shield here and the opponent doesn't go for the charge move, which is exactly what's going to happen now. Because now we can swap out into our Snarl user, and we can sneak in a free Snarl when the opponent tries to go for their own charge move, which you see here. This is exactly what I mean as well. You don't lose a turn if you swap out after your own charge move. And we're gonna get out the Registeel, and this is exactly on how Granbull is supposed to be working. Until I realized that most people are running currently Flashkin on their Registeel, which is completely changing the matchup here. Yeah, we kind of screwed up a little bit with it. I don't actually think it really mattered, because as you're going to see here, 1 close combat is just barely not enough. But we're still going to be able to align ourselves with it. We're still going to be able to go for another Crunch here, knock them out, don't drop our defense too much. And we can keep even the energy for later on, as we can take the hit now onto our own Golurk. That is totally fine. We are 1 fast move away from another charge move, and they're going to have in the back here the Walrein, and I decide to go straight for the Moonblast, for the main reason, of course, that I have that close combat nearly stored already, and so the opponent decides to let the move go through. Big mistake, as now I am going to be able to get them insanely low. They're forced to go for 2 Icicle Spears in order to knock me out, and I will be able to go for the full farm out even here to knock out the opponent, and also that Golurk is gonna go down after 1 Swift, and so we can move on to the next opponent. Let's see if we can trap some more Steel-type Pokemon. We have Tentacruel in the lead. Okay, they're gonna definitely swap out of here into their Scraggy, or like Scrafty here. That's going to be totally fine, because we have our Fairy Wind user, and we can just take those hits as well. We're gonna be in a great spot. We can let the move go through. It's going to be a Thunder Punch. There's not really anything to worry about here. I can go for the Swift. We have a little bit of lag there as well again, but I don't think it really mattered. Swift is not going to be able to knock them out, but gonna put them into a range where I can fully farm them down anyway. And now we're going to be able to go for 1 big Swift against the opponent's Tentacruel, and 1 big charge move afterwards as well. And let's see how this is gonna go. We can go for the Moonblast here, which does way more damage than the Swift, even though it's resisted, because it's a stab move, it's a hard-hitting move, and it's gonna put them into a range where 2 more Mud Steps are going to be enough to knock them out. First one's coming through, second one's sneaking through, so the opponent's down to their final Pokemon. I could try to swap out straight away to get the Crunch debuff as well, but you have to see what's going to be in the back. And I make a mistake here. I should have swapped out here. I should have swapped out straight away, and did not go for that Shadow Punch, because what we're gonna see here now is the opponent is going to be able to go for a charge move here, and I should have used a shield as well. It doesn't make sense here that I didn't use a shield. I outspeed the opponent. I do outspeed them. But my thought process was here, oh, I should be able to get to another move with my Golurk, right? No, I don't. They do too much damage, way more than I expected, and so I lose this on my own. Like, if I just used a shield with the Granbull, I would have won the battle. Very silly mistake by me, but also, again, look at this. We're going to be able to bait out the Steel type, get the shield from the opponent, and now we're going to still have our Fairy type Pokemon against the opponent's Dark type Pokemon. And this can exactly on how Granbull is supposed to work. We can swap out into our Golurk here. Golurk is going to be able to do a ton of damage against the opponent's Empoleon. Of course, I can still get to a 1 more shield here, or like 1 more charge move to force me to use a shield, which is going to be fine, as we are going to be able to go for the full farm down, get a ton of energy, get up to a Dynamic Punch and get very likely the final shield of the opponent. While this move is actually just neutral, it would still do a ton of damage. They actually let the move go through, and with that they're gonna be very low. It's down to the Whiscash, and I decided to go straight for that big Moonblast. Let's see if they're gonna fall for it or not. They decide to use a shield here, which is smart, I guess, and we still hopefully gonna be able to reach another move here in time as well. I decided to use a shield. It is going to be a Scald. They're gonna try, of course, to get the attack drop onto me, which does not work out for them, and the Moonblast is coming through with the Fairy Wind buff for the season. I think it's going to be enough, and it is going to be enough to knock them out and win us this battle. Again, Granbull did exactly what we were hoping for. This is like the one Pokemon again that I kinda don't like. And again, if we would have had the Ninetales, we would have been a little bit better off. But look at this, we're gonna get out the opponent's Bastion. Isn't that great? And we can go for one big close combat here now. And this is going to be double super effective. And you might think that's going to be great for us, and you're absolutely right with it, as we can go for another one back-to-back against the opponent. We force both of these shields, and we're in a fantastic place here as they decide to go for their own charge move here as well, forcing all the energy gone there from them basically. And we can go for the full farm now with our Golurk. They're still locked into this matchup for a little bit before they're going to be able to swap out now. They're going to swap out into a Steelix as well. Poor opponent. We are going to be able to reach out for that Dynamic Punch, doing super effective damage, completely wrecking them, and they're very likely going to be forced to swap out now into their Tropius, where we can even keep the energy on our Golurk for later on, swap out into our own Clefable, and with this we can just take a hit here even. Like, we don't really care too much about it. We kind of need to hit them with like a Moonblast or something in order to get some damage onto them, but with this they should be in range for a Shadow Punch, and again, we're going to have the Shadow Punch stored already. The opponent's Bastion cannot really do anything against our Golurk, and with this we're going to be in a great position. I actually could have decided to go for a double Swift here as well, just to get rid of the Switch Clock, but I decided to go ahead and go for the Moonblast, which is going to be able to two-shot the opponent, and we're going to go exactly for that one. This is going to allow us to knock out the opponent's Bastion without them using any of the energy, and now we have a 2-shield Golurk against the opponent's Tropius. We can go up to 2 Shadow Punches here just to be safe, and with this we're going to be able to win the battle, as the opponent has not even enough health for 1 Shadow Punch. Golurk against Marowak, that's going to be a great matchup for us, as we are going to be able to win this one quite easily. They swap out into the Clefable. We don't really have to worry about too much here, as Swift is going to be their fastest move to get to, which is going to be a normal type move, doing double resisted damage, allowing us to now go into our own Clefable, and we just have to hope and pray that they don't have Media Mesh. Of course they do. But anyway, we're gonna still be able to go for a Swift. This is gonna be fine. We can knock them out here in time, and so we can keep alignment. While the opponent's still gonna get a little bit of energy here with their Marowak, I am gonna be able to go into our Golurk and look at the fast move pressure that we have against them. And the cool thing here is we are a 3-turn fast move against a 3-turn fast move, allowing us to generate energy, or like get a free fast move in every single time they go for a charge move, which is really cool for us. So we're gonna be able to go for another Shadow Punch, get the final, or not the final shield, like one of the shields from the opponent, and we get another free fast move in. And with this, we're gonna put them even into range for a Snarl down later on, as I decide to go into the Swampert. I am going to be able to at least go for a big move here as well. The Shadow Punch is going to force the shield from the opponent, but we have to hope that Granbull still can come through this one. And they completely underestimated the energy gain of our Granbull, allowing us to go for a close combat and knock out the Swampert before they can even go for a charge move. And we will be able to win the battle with a Snarl Granbull here in the Great League Remix Cup. Next opponent, final one for today. Thanks all for watching this video, by the way, really appreciate it. We're going to have a great lead for us. As they swap out into the Glade, we can retaliate here immediately with the Clefable, and we're going to be in a great spot, right? Like, we already saw one Steel-type Pokemon, so there's very likely not going to be another Steel-type Pokemon in the back. And we're going to be in a very solid position here, as we had already mostly some Grass-type Pokemon lurking in the back, which can be a bit tricky, to be fair. If it's like a Venusaur, we have not really the best answers for that one, but I feel like we still have a decent shot no matter what it's going to be really in the back. But let's see what is going to happen here next. It's going to be the Swift coming through, that's totally fine. I honestly don't think I should have used the shield here. I think this shield is kind of unnecessary. I do think this really is unnecessary, to be fair, because I didn't need alignment. I have 2 Pokemon that can beat Bastion. There was no reason for alignment, and we're gonna see here already, it's going to be the worst possible Pokemon I could imagine in the back, which is going to be that Tropius for me. And I am not going to be in a spot now where I have a shield anymore. And this is going to be very bad for me. As now, I can go back into our Clefable. Clefable is going to get a Moonblast off, but again, like, we would have been in a way better spot if I just would have been able to have that shield still I don't think that was a great play whatsoever. And now we have to go for the full farmer with a Granbull, getting some nice energy against the opponent's Bastion. But sadly, also I swapped my own Pokemon in such a weird time that I don't think I got a much type through against the Bastion. And so sadly, that close combat was double super effective, while it's a Shadow Pokemon, is 1 HP short from knocking them out. And that is going to be it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Granbull was a lot of fun. I think Ninetales would be a great upgrade for this team, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.